Hello, everyone. Today we are going over 2.4 equations of lines. A lot of this is review from your algebra classes. However, we're going to review it. If you have questions, please let me know. Also, if you should be taking notes in your note packet. I will be collecting it when we do our quiz on Friday. So, equations in standard form. Standard form is when it looks like ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are just real numbers, and a and b can't both be 0. This is the best way to find our x and y intercepts. So remember, your x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, and the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So to find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. So I take that equation, and it becomes 6x plus 3 times 0 equals 12. So that just means 6x equals 12, so x equals 2. So my x-intercept is 2, which means it goes through the point 2, 0. To find the y-intercept is when x is 0. So I put 0 in for x, so it's 6 times 0 plus 3y equals 12. So that means 3y equals 12. I divide by 3, and y equals 4. So that's the point 0, 4 on the graph. Equation in slope-intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b. This is where m is the slope, b is y-intercept. This is how you want your equation for your calculator, which is what it says right down here. This forms what we should use for a calculator. So if we want to graph these, to graph y equals 4x plus 2, I'm going to use my y-intercept, which is 2, and my slope, which is 4. So I start on 2 on the y-axis because it's the y-intercept, and I go up 4 over 1. So I went up 4 over 1, and I got another point. Then I can do that backwards by going down 4 and left 1. And then I connect those points, and that is my line. Now to graph negative 6x plus 3y equals 12, what I should do is I should add 6x to both sides because I need to get y by itself. Then I get 3y equals 6x plus 12. And then I divide everything by 3. So that becomes y equals 2x plus 4. So this has a y-intercept of 4 and a slope of 2. So I start at 4 on the y-axis, and I go up 2 over 1. Then I go backwards down to left 1, and I connect those with a straight line. You can always use your calculator to help you graph, but in order to do that, you have to be able to put them in y equals. So now there's the equation of the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where m is the slope and x1, y1 are any point. So these are the coordinates of the point. The other x and y are there because I always need an equation with x and y. This form is nice because you can use any point versus just y-intercept. So if I look at this equation, y minus 4 equals 3 parentheses x plus 1, that means the point, this right here in parentheses, is 3x minus negative 1 to make it look like that equation. So that means it goes to the point negative 1, 4, and has a slope of 3. So I start at negative 1, 4, which is right here. And I can't go up 3 over 1, but I can go down 3, left 1. And there is my line, which I didn't draw very straight. Now up here, I'm going to use this graph down here to help me, even though this box kind of got in the way. And I want you to pause and I want you to think about these two equations and try to do this on your own. So what it tells me to do is tells me to plot a line that's horizontal through 5, -1. So 5, -1 is over 5 down 1. And horizontal is going left and right. Horizontal, you look at the horizon. So that gives me this purple line right here. That's a horizontal line. So when I look at any points on that purple line, I notice, hopefully, that all the y coordinates are -1, because this would be -5, -1. This would be -3, -1. This is 0, -1. This is 2, -1. Therefore, that equation of that purple line is y equals -1. So horizontal lines, which I'm going to write that over here because that box moved. Horizontal lines always have the equation y equals b, where b is the y-intercept. Now I'm going to make a red point, which is 4, 3. So I go over 4 and up 3. And then I want to make a vertical line. Vertical lines go up and down. And so I'm going to make that pink. And so my vertical line is this pink line. And if I look at points on that vertical line, this is, oops, I'm still on line. That's why it's not writing. This is 4, 5. This down here would be 4, -6. So when you notice there, all my x coordinates are x equals 4. So vertical lines are x equals a, where a is the x-intercept. So vertical lines are always x equals a number. Horizontal lines are always y equals a number. Now we need to practice writing equations of lines. So writing an equation of line using the following information. So to do this, we need to remember a couple of important things. We need to remember y equals mx plus b. And we need to remember y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So in number 1, I'm given my slope and my y-intercept. So I'm just going to put 3 in for m and 4 in for b. So that gives me y equals 3x plus 4. Number 2, I'm given my slope and any point. So this is 2, -4. So it's important to remember that that means x1 equals 2 and y1 equals -4. So I'm going to put those into the second one. So it's going to be y minus -4 equals my slope, which is -1, times x minus 2 in parentheses. Now the tricky part is on number 3, they didn't give me a slope. So since they didn't give me a slope, I need to find the slope first. So please pause and find the slope. So hopefully you paused and found the slope. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's going to be -3 minus 0 over 7 minus 5. So that's -3 halves. Now I can choose either point. So if I choose 5, 0, that's going to be y minus 0 equals -3 halves x minus 5. And if I choose Q, it's going to be y minus -3 equals -3 halves x minus 7. Both the red and the blue equation are correct. Now we have 2 more practice problems to do. And this is the idea when we're using the idea of parallel. So a line is parallel to the equation y equals -1x plus 4, passing through -2, 5. So we need to remember that parallel lines have the same slope. So what is the slope of y equals -1x plus 4? Hopefully you remembered that the slope is always the number in front of the x. So my slope is -1. And since I want parallel, I want same slope. So I'm going to use my y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So it's y minus my y coordinate is 5 equals my slope, which is -1, x minus -2. And that's the equation. Number 5, they want a perpendicular line. So we need to remember that perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. So the first thing is to remember that my slope is the number in front of x when it's y equals. So the slope here is 4. So the perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal, which is -1/4, because I flip it and change the sign. And now they tell me a y-intercept of 8. So if they tell me a y-intercept of 8, that means I want to use y equals mx plus b. So that's y equals -1/4 x plus 8. So that's the end of our video on 2.4. This is the end of what we're going to have on our quiz late this week or early next week, depending on your last name. If you have any questions, please bring them to class.